Welcome back to Shah Sir Classes. I am Shah Faisal Sir here. My dear students, today we are going to start with a science crash course where we are going to discuss the most important questions. Here, the most important part is how we want to study science. For class 10th, either it is for Karnataka State Board or it is for CBSE Board students. So here we are going to study for class 10 students who are preparing for the subject science and following the NCERT syllabus. Okay, the students who are going to follow NCERT syllabus, for those students we are going to conduct this session, and it is very helpful for you all. Here, if you have any sort of doubts like how to start preparing for the exam, from each chapter, which type of questions may appear, how to face, how to understand the area of asking questions in a short period of time, how we can complete the entire syllabus. So that is what we are going to do it here. So we are helping out from Evershine Coaching Center. We have taken the initiative to help each and every one of you all. Is this clear? Let's begin. Now observe here. First, we are going to start with the chapter chemical reaction and equation. I just want all the students to copy down each and every point from here so that definitely this session will be helpful for you all so that you can start preparing according to that. Chemical reactions and equations. Observe students. From this chapter, which are the types of questions will appear? Which it may appear, which has already appeared. Understood. We'll see both the sides. Before going to that, first let us simplify the entire syllabus what is given in the textbook. From which exercise, from which paragraph, which type of question can be extracted. That we will understand first. Is this clear? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಪ್ರತಿ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಂದ ಪ್ರತಿ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇಂದ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ತರಹದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಗುಡ್. ನೌ see children, I hope you all knows it, but still for a better clarification, let me to make you to remember, recall the points what your teachers have already suggested to you all. From the chapter science, you will be getting a question for remembering. From remembering part, okay, you can expect the questions around 16 marks. How many marks will be, for how many marks questions will be asked out of 80? For remembering, you will be getting 16 marks. And then based on understanding, you can expect the questions around 32 marks. And next, based on applications, that is application level questions, you can expect around 16 marks. Around 16 marks. And then skill based, skill means drawing. Skill based, you can expect the questions around 12 marks. And next, HOTS questions, that is higher order thinking questions. For an example, they will give you the diagram. From the diagram, they will ask you the questions. From the diagram, they will be asking you the questions. So that carries around 4 marks. So this is the blueprint for Karnataka State Board students. This is for Karnataka State Board syllabus students. For CBSE, a bit it will get modified. For CBSE students, this remembering, understanding, skill and HOTS questions, a bit it will be modified. But the preparation level remains same. Is this clear? The preparation level remains same. It doesn't differ. How CBSE students will be following how they are revising, even similar manner, you people also need to do the revisions. Okay. So this is the basic part which I just wanted to ensure for you all. Now, let me start simplifying science. The first chapter, chemical reactions and equations. In the chapter first, chemical reaction and equation, you can expect in case if any question is going to appear on the first topic, on the first activity, that is magnesium reacts with acids. Magnesium reacts with air. So, how the questions will be asked? Which other types of questions will be asked on this topic? Magnesium reacts with air. ठीक है? Magnesium जब air के साथ में जब react होगा, when magnesium reacts with oxygen, it is reacts with oxygen. Here oxygen means air. Oxygen here means air. When magnesium reacts with oxygen, that's nothing but when magnesium reacts with air. ये टॉपिक के ऊपर किस किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस पूछे जा सकते हैं? In which of the ways the questions can appear? They may ask you reaction. You can expect a question based on reaction. You can expect a question based on product form. You can expect a question based on product form. And you can expect a question based on nature of the product. We can expect a question based on nature of the product. And at last, we can expect a question based on type of reaction. So these all are the possibilities. In case if they want to ask any question based on this topic, अगर से टॉपिक के ऊपर किसी भी तरह का अगर से आपको क्वेश्चन पूछा जाना है, तो इतने सारे टॉपिक्स हैं क्वेश्चंस को पूछने के लिए. To ask the questions, these are the topics are present. Any doubts? I'll just let me to simplify this topic. How the questions will be asked? What happens when magnesium reacts with oxygen? That is reaction. Followed. The question is what? What happens when magnesium reacts with oxygen? That's all. Write the balanced chemical reaction. Write the balanced chemical equation. You have to write what happens when magnesium reacts with oxygen. You have to state when magnesium reacts with oxygen, it gives magnesium oxide. It gives magnesium oxide. That's all. Right? Mg plus O2 gives MgO. If they ask you to balance, then balance it. 2Mg plus O2 gives 2MgO. This is reaction. Sometimes the question can be asked like this. Name the product formed when magnesium reacts with oxygen. What's the question? Name the product formed when magnesium reacts with oxygen. One mark question. It's a one mark question. So this is also the way the question can be extracted. The question can be asked. Possibility. Third, nature of the product. What do you mean by nature of the product? Write the color of the product form. Write the color of the product form. And also the product which is formed, in which form it is present. In which form the product is formed. It is formed in a powder form. Remember we have done the experiment, right? We have taken a glass piece, magnesium ribbon. Once if it burns, it converts into a powder. It gives a dazzling flame. Correct? It starts shining. It gives a shining nature, right? Yeah, that is what they may ask you to write the nature of the product. So what is the color of the product? In which form it is present? Understood? The product it's formed in which form? And also they may ask you, they will only give you the question. Mg plus O2 gives MgO. Identify the type of chemical reaction. A, B, C, D. Combination, decomposition, displacement, double displacement. A, B, C, D. You have to choose which is this reaction. Any doubts? Did you understood? Yes. Concepts are clear. The question can be asked based on the reaction. The question can be asked based on the product form. The question can be asked the nature of the product. And also the question can be asked on which type of reaction is this? Which type of reaction is this? So these are the possible questions. Apart from this, we have one more question. Why should a magnesium ribbon ribbon should be cleaned before burning? I hope this question is there in your textbook. In the left hand side page, it comes in the exercise column. I think question number 1 or 2, somewhere it will come. This is the Google Map location. You can check from your textbook for this question. It is already present in the textbook. Followed? Is this clear? Good. So, children, if any question has to be asked from this paragraph, from this exercise, from this topic, these all are the possible questions. This is how you have to start your preparation. See, in the market, we can find n number of PDFs, n number of questions will be given. Top 100 questions, top 50 questions, passing package, 100% passing package, 100% scoring package. Okay, so many different types of materials are existed in the market. But before following any of the materials, first and foremost, what you should do, you have to revise your textbook first. Follow your textbook. Complete the entire textbook. Scan the entire textbook first. Then you follow any question paper without preparing the basic, without understanding the textbook. If you start preparing thousands of lakhs of questions also, it is waste of your time. Who knows which question can be asked, which question couldn't be asked. You understood? So that is not a proper idea to study science. We have see every subject has its own way of learning. हर सब्जेक्ट को पढ़ने का उसका ही खुद का एक तरीका है. ठीक है, तो साइंस के लिए आप बाहर कर रहे हैं. It is not a proper way to study science. Understand. That's it is required. Nothing else is required. Understand before you are going to prepare for that. So I have shown you all the possibilities, which all the ways the questions can be asked from the topic. Magnesium reacts with oxygen. Next, let me go ahead. Now one more question. That is question number 2. Possible question number 2. See, I am going with step by step from the entire textbook. I am just doing a MRI scanning of the chapter 1. Where any fault, any dent, easily we will scan now. Understood? Now we have got a patient. Now we are the doctors. We are going to scan them. Let me see what disease he has. Then let me cure that in the time of exam. Come to the point. The next question. How do you determine whether the chemical reaction has taken place, whether the chemical reaction has happened or it has not happened? How do you determine? They'll give you some reaction, they'll give you some chemical, they'll give you some substance, and now they will ask you, tell me whether in this chemical reaction can take place or not. How do you determine? How can you say that whether chemical reaction has taken place or not? ठीक है, आपको कुछ रिएक्शन दिया जाएगा, आपको बस यही बताना है कि इसमें केमिकल रिएक्शन होगा या नहीं होगा. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಆಗಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಯಾವ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ನೀವು ಯಾವ ತರ ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? I hope you remember, right? If gas is evolved, chemical reaction has taken place. GSTPC. I hope you remember. If any precipitate is formed, chemical reaction has taken place. Temperature. If you find any change in the temperature, chemical reaction has taken place. This is present. If you open your textbook, in the right hand side, the chapter 1 will start. Turn the page. Below, they have given the points. That is your answer for that question. Google Map location. Is this clear? How do you determine whether the chemical reaction has taken place or not? This is all the following we will observe. Through that, we can tell that whether chemical reaction has taken place or not. Done? Next, sub question 3. Now, please make a note. You can expect a question based on balancing. Balance the chemical reactions or equations. Sometimes they will give you reactions and sometimes they'll give you equations and they will ask you to balance them. So this is another type of question and this is one of the most important question based on balancing. Definitely you can expect one question based on balancing the chemical reactions. Already in your text they have given few questions how to balance. In your first exercise also you can see, even when the chapter was explaining about ferrous sulfate they have taken the example over there. You can observe so many types of reactions, but if possible I'll make a separate sheet on balancing the chemical reactions questions and later I will upload in the YouTube channel. Okay, so that you people can solve all the balance related questions separately. I'll give the separate worksheet for balancing the chemical reactions. That's fine. Next question. Calcium oxide reacts with water. Calcium oxide reacts with water. Calcium oxide reacts with water. Next, burning of coal, respiration, decomposition of vegetable matter, heating of, uh, later we see about it. Now, based on these topics, as you can see here, based on these topics like calcium oxide reacts with water, burning of coal, respiration, decomposition of vegetable matter. On these topics, you can expect a question. Give an example. Give an example. Which type of chemical reaction is this? You understood? Example, calcium oxide reacts with water. Identify the type of chemical reaction. Identify the type of chemical reaction. Whether it is exothermic or endothermic reaction. Burning of coal, exothermic or endothermic. Respiration, exothermic or endothermic. Decomposition of vegetable matter, exothermic or endothermic. You understood? Possible number one. And possible number two, possibility number two is, what is exothermic reaction? Give an example. What is endothermic reaction? Give an example. Write the difference between exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. So these are the chances of asking the questions based on this topic. Done. They'll give burning of coal is an example for dash reaction. Identify. Either it could be a 1 mark question or it can be a multiple choice question, MCQ question. So any of the chances are there of asking the question. But according to this here, as per my knowledge, I am expecting you can get a question based on how do you determine whether the chemical reaction has taken place or not. You can expect a question from that. And from this topic, question number 4, exothermic and endothermic waste, you can expect a question this year. Chances are very high. Okay, why? Because till now, the questions have not formed much on this topic. So usually, examination of science, paper setting, you might have seen, very rarely the questions will repeat from years to years. Every time they need some changes in the questions. That is the reason. In case if they want to change, if they want to do something innovative, then they may choose these topics to ask in the exam. Followed? Yes. Next question number 5. Heating of ferrous sulfate crystals. Heating of ferrous sulfate crystals. On this topic, what are the possible questions? One is, they may ask you reaction. It is very, very, very important, children. Please don't neglect. They may ask you reaction. Second, they may ask you Type of reaction. They may ask you name the products formed. They may ask you to write the uses of the product formed. They may ask you to write the uses of the product formed. They may ask you name the gases are evolved. Which are the gases are released during this process? About the gases. They may ask you about the smell, how the smell it is, whether it is pungent smell, characteristic smell, sweet smell, which type of smell. When the reaction is happening, when the product has formed, which type of smell you are observing during the reaction. And they may ask you write the color of the product. They will ask you to write the color of the product. I hope you remember this reaction in the decomposition reaction, right? What happens when magnesium crystals are heated? What happens when magnesium crystals are heated? When magnesium crystals are heated, what what happens when ferrous sulfate crystals, not magnesium, ferrous sulfate crystals are heated? When ferrous sulfate crystals are heated, it gives ferric oxide. Remember, it gives ferric oxide and the respective gases. I hope you remember the reaction. Go ahead. So these are the possible questions from this topic. Understood? Now, nowadays we are seeing one important question which is making a rounds. You know what is that? The question is briefly explain. Briefly explain or demonstrate an activity. You have to explain, briefly explain or demonstrate an activity how the ferrous sulfate crystals are heated. I think in your last midterm exam, in the magnetic effect of electric current, they have chosen the question to demonstrate the activity. Remember, you have to demonstrate, right? You have to explain as how this reaction is going to happen. Okay, so it is activity based question. At that time, also, you should write the same steps. Once if it is heated, what is going to happen? What are the products are formed and how it looks? About that only you are going to give the information in detail. The same answers only, the same points what I have written. That is your answer for this question. So in case if the question is being asked in such a way, then it may carry 3 to 4 marks. The same question it may carry 3 to 4 marks. So don't neglect this question. Very, very, very important. I hope you have understood till here, right? Next, let me go ahead. Let me proceed. Question number 6. We can expect a question based on this topic. Lead nitrate crystals are heated. Lead nitrate crystals are heated. Again, let me follow the same thing. They may ask you to write the reaction. What happens when lead nitrate crystals are heated? Right, what is going to happen? When lead nitrate crystals are heated, it gives lead oxide. Remember that reaction you're supposed to write. After writing the reaction, you have to name the product formed. Name the product formed. Write the color of the fumes. Write the color of the fumes. And also name the type of reaction is this. Name the type of reaction is this. Which type of reaction is this? You have to name it. So this is the possible question on this topic. Lead nitrate crystals are heated. Same way. Here also, in case if they want to ask any question based on the activity, they may ask you to demonstrate this. Briefly explain the activity when lead nitrate crystals are heated. जब lead nitrate crystals को जब हम हीट करेंगे तो उसमें क्या होगा? क्या ऑब्जर्व किए? What did you observe? Or they may ask you draw the conclusions. Okay. What are the observations? What did you observe during this reaction? They may ask you to write the conclusions. They may ask you to write the conclusions for the previous question and this question. आपको रिएक्शन हुआ है तो आप उसको कंक्लूड कीजिए, आपको क्या क्या दिखा, आप क्या क्या ऑब्जर्व किए उसके बारे में बताइए. They may ask you to write the conclusions which you have drawn from this experiment. Write the conclusions which you have drawn in the experiment when lead nitrate crystals are heated, when ferrous sulfate crystals are heated. What are the conclusions? You have to write the conclusion. Conclusion also is what? Same answer only. What did you observe? We observed this only, no? We have observed the reaction, we have saw the product, we have saw the nature of the product, we have smelled if any kind of smell if it is coming, if any kind of color if you are observing, the same thing you are supposed to write. Earlier which color it was, after that which color they are, you are supposed to write. Understood? So these are the conclusions which we have drawn from this experiment. Then you have to write these all points, nothing else. Is this clear? Is this clear? Good. Then let me come back to the next possible question. Please make a note. Silver chloride, silver chloride, silver chloride exposed, silver chloride exposed to sunlight. I think this question, it is already there in your textbook, in exercise questions of chapter 1. You can see over there also. Okay, that silver bromide and silver chloride, both if you want you can write. Silver bromide and silver chloride. When we have exposed this both to sunlight, when we have exposed both to this sunlight, I hope you remember thermal decomposition reaction. Silver chloride and silver bromide. Silver chloride we have kept in a china dish in the presence of sunlight. Remember, in the right hand side you will get in your textbook. Right hand side it starts and it ends with left hand side of your textbook top. Remember? Yeah. So based on this, you can expect a question. Children's, even possibility is more on this question also. Silver chloride and silver bromide based on this topic. When silver chloride and silver bromide, when they both are exposed to air, they may ask you to write the product. Name the product form. When silver chloride is exposed in sunlight, understood? You are supposed to write what happens. What happens when silver chloride is exposed to sunlight? When we are kept in sunlight, name the product form. They may ask you to write the product form. They may ask you to write the product form, and they may ask you to write the color of the product. They may ask you to write the type of reaction, and they may ask you to write the uses of this product, of this reaction. So what is the use of this reaction? Where we are using this reaction? Black and white photography. Remember? Yes. So they may ask you to write the use of this reaction, where we are going to use this. Is this clear? So this is another possible question. And next, let me come back to the next possibility. Children, even this question is a bit important. Make a note. A solution of a substance X. A solution, make a note. A solution of a substance X. A solution of a substance X is used for whitewashing. Is used for whitewashing. Is used for whitewashing. Sub question 1. Name the substance X. Name the substance X. Full stop. Write its formula. Name the substance X. Write its formula. Option 2. Write reaction. Write reaction of substance X. Write reaction of substance X named in option 1 named in option 1 above, above with water, above with water. Next question. Why is the amount of gas, why is the amount of gas collected in one test tube, why is the amount of gas collected in one test tube is double, is double of amounted, is double of amount, is double of amount collected in other, collected in other during the process of, during the process of electrolysis, during the process of electrolysis. Question mark. Name these gas, name this gas. Next question. Question number 10. Why does, why does iron nail, why does iron nail becomes brownish, why does iron nail become, why does iron nail become, becomes brownish in color, becomes brownish in color, and and why blue color of, why blue color of copper sulfate, copper sulfate turns fades, turns fades, fades, fades. Next possible question, make a note. Fe means iron, iron plus copper sulfate gives, iron means ferrous, Fe, Fe is iron, ferrous. Iron plus copper sulfate, that is ferrous plus copper sulfate, it gives ferrous sulfate plus copper. Okay. Next, Pb plus CuCl2 gives PbCl4 plus Cu. Next, Zn plus CuSO4 gives ZnSO4 plus Cu, plus Cu. On this topic, yeah, please be careful with respect to this question. Here, more number of questions can be asked from this topic. We have maximum questions will be asked from this topic. The first possible question, arrange them in an order. Arrange them in their increasing order. Arrange them in their increasing order of their reactivity. Arrange them in their increasing order of their reactivity. सबसे हाईली रिएक्टिव कौन, उसके बाद कौन, रिमेंबर, खाना खा ले को म्हणजे आलू लाना, जिद कड्या तो लोहा पकड़ को घर घुस को मारतो, हाउ क्या जी, आओ जी, याद है बेटा, हाँ, that reactivity series, Ka, remember which is highly reactive metal, which is the least reactive metal. On that basis you have to write, you have to arrange them there in their increasing order of their reactivity. This is the first question. Second question, second question, they may ask you, identify the type of reaction, identify the type of reaction. They may give you Fa plus CuSO4 gives FeSO4 plus Cu. Identify the type of given reaction, A, B, C, D. Combination, decomposition, displacement, double displacement. They may ask you. Understood? And one more question, very important. You know what they will do? Small change. I'm just showing with example number 1. Instead of Fe plus CuSO4, they will give you Cu plus FeSO4 gives CuSO4 plus Fe. they may give you like this 4 options A, B, C, D. They may ask you to identify which is the correct one. Which is the correct one. देखो बेटा, इधर कॉपर है, इधर आयरन है, आयरन के साथ सल्फेट है. अब कॉपर के पास इतनी ताकत है कि फेरस सल्फेट के साथ में फेरस को अलग करना और सल्फेट को अलग करना. कॉपर के पास इतनी ताकत है. इस कॉपर इज हैविंग दैट मच स्ट्रेंथ टू सेपरेट फेरस एंड सल्फेट, to eliminate iron separate and taking sulfate with copper? No, not at all. Why? Because iron is most reactive metal and copper is least reactive metal. Never a least reactive metal can displace ये highly reactive metal. समझे बेटा, जो इंसान ताकतवर है वो कमजोर इंसान को कभी भी मार सकता. कमजोर इंसान ताकतवर इंसान को कभी भी मार नहीं सकता. समझ में आया? समझ में आया? एग्जाम्पल के एन एम जी. अब सबसे हाईली रिएक्टिव कौन? पोटेशियम, उसके बाद सोडियम, उसके बाद मैग्नीशियम. अब मैग्नीशियम के साथ कौन भी रंध है? पोटेशियम के पास इतनी ताकत है कि मैग्नीशियम के साथ जो भी है उसे अलग अलग करने के लिए, बिकॉज पोटेशियम इज हाईली रिएक्टिव मेटल एंड मैग्नीशियम इज लीस्ट रिएक्टिव मेटल. समझे? हाईली रिएक्टिव मेटल के पास इतना स्ट्रेंथ है कि लीस्ट रिएक्टिव मेटल को डरा सकता उन्हें, लेकिन लीस्ट रिएक्टिव मेटल के पास इतनी ताकत नहीं है कि हाईली रिएक्टिव मेटल को डरा सके. फॉलोड? अंडरस्टूड? अंडरस्टूड? Is this reaction is possible? Copper plus FeSO4 gives CuSO4 plus Fe. Is this possible? No. Why? Give reason. You should tell that copper is least reactive metal, iron is highly reactive metal. A least reactive metal cannot displace highly reactive metal. So no reaction can takes place. इसमें reaction हो नहीं पाएगा. The reaction cannot takes place. They may ask you, they will give you this reaction. Fe plus CuSO4 give FeSO4 plus Cu. They will give you this option. Okay. Now they will ask you, is this reaction is possible? Give reason. Justify this statement. Fe plus CuSO4 gives FeSO4 plus Cu. Justify this statement. That's all the question. Then what will you write? Yes, it is possible. This is displacement reaction. What should be the reason over there? You should tell that iron is highly reactive metal, copper is least reactive metal. A highly reactive metal can displace least reactive metal. So iron displacing sulfate from copper. So it becomes FeSO4 and Cu is displaced. Cu has removed during that reaction. समझ में आया बेटा? ऐसे 3 रिएक्शंस देती, ये तीनों को तुम्हें अरेंज करना उनके रिएक्टिविटी सीरीज के हिसाब से. नहीं कर को बोले तो एक रिएक्शन देती, वो रिएक्शन सही है गलत है वो आइडेंटिफाई करना. यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई वेदर द गिवन रिएक्शन इज करेक्ट और नॉट. If not, they will give you 3 reactions. In that, which is the correct one, you need to identify. Followed? Understood? Yeah. And next possible number question is, what is precipitation reaction? What is precipitation reaction? What is precipitation reaction? They may ask you the question based on this topic. Okay, make sure that double displacement reaction is also called as precipitation reaction. Double displacement reaction is also called as precipitation reaction. And most probably in this they will ask the question based on the example of precipitation reaction, that is double displacement reaction. In your textbook you have already given. Remember barium chloride plus sodium sulfate. When they react, it gives sodium chloride plus barium sulfate. Remember, here sodium chloride is a salt and barium sulfate is a precipitate form. They will give you the reaction. And they will ask you to identify the precipitate form. इसमें कौन सा precipitate है उसको आपको identify करना है, और इसमें कौन सा salt है और उसमें कौन सा प्रेसिपिटेट है वो आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है, वरना सेम रिएक्शन देंगे, दे विल आस्क यू टू आइडेंटिफाई विच टाइप ऑफ रिएक्शन इज दिस, that is double displacement reaction. My dear students, these are the foremost important questions for your upcoming board exam. So I have just scanned the entire chapter for you all. Next possible question, that is question number 13. The question can be asked based on oxidation reaction. They may ask you what is oxidation reaction, give example. What is reduction reaction, give example. What is oxidation? What is reduction reaction? What is oxidation? What is reduction? Oxidation plus reduction is called as redox reaction. Oxidation plus reduction both together is called as redox reaction. Now from the topic redox reaction, you can expect a question like this. CuO plus H2 gives Cu plus H2O. This is a reaction. Now from this reaction, they can ask you the questions like this. In this reaction, identify where oxidation is happening. Identify the oxidation in this. Identify the reduction reaction in this. Identify the oxidizing agent from this. Identify the reducing agent from this reaction. These are the possible questions. They may ask you identify oxidation, where oxidation takes place, where reduction takes place, and which is the oxidizing agent in this, which is the reducing agent in this reaction. Is this clear? Like this, they may give you some other reactions also, but possible remains same. Which is oxidizing agent, which is the reducing agent, which is oxidation, and where reduction is going to takes place. So this is what you can expect the question. And at last, they can expect a question based on corrosion. What is corrosion? Anyhow, from this area, from the chapter of metals and non-metals, we'll be discussing in detail. Again, this topic will appear in the chapter metals and non-metals also. So related to corrosion, here we don't discuss. Here we don't discuss much about this reaction corrosion. We'll discuss in the chapter metals and non-metals. Why? Because already about metals corrosion, in brief, they have already taken what are the precautionary measures to avoid corrosion. These all things has been carried out from that chapter. So I don't think so much question can be asked from this chapter based on corrosion. Is this clear? Now, very famous question, important question. What is rancidity? How do you prevent this? What is rancidity? And how do you prevent this? How do you prevent rancidity? Okay. How do you prevent rancidity? They may ask you about two methods to prevent rancidity. In your book, they have given one method. How do you prevent rancidity? Understood? But one more method is there that you need to identify. We can prevent rancidity by using nitrogen gas, right? By filling nitrogen gas, we can prevent the rancidity. But one more method is there. Try to identify that, which is another method to prevent rancidity. Is this clear? Understood? And apart from that, in case if you are following your textbook, I advise you people to follow these questions. That is page number 13. Page number 13. Your first exercise, the end of the chapter. You can see page number 13. You have the first question. Why does the color of copper sulfate solution changes when as iron nail is dipped in it? You can expect a question based on that. And also you can expect a question based on question number 3. Identify the substances which are oxidized and reduced. Just now I told you, CuO plus H2 gives Cu plus H2O. Yeah, like that they have given some other examples to identify which is oxidation, where is reduction is happening, which is oxidizing agent, and which is the reducing agent. Okay, this is clear. And again, next we have exercise questions. Exercises. If you turn the page, you can see there is exercises. In that, your question number 2 is important. Just now I have already discussed related to this. Ferric oxide plus aluminum gives aluminum oxide plus iron, that is ferrous. This is an example for which type of reaction? Check. Fe2O3 plus Al. Fe2O3 plus 2Al. Here how many we have? AB. Here how many we have? Only is 1. Since 2 and 1, when they combine together, they become with Fe. Who will combine? Al2O3 plus Fe. Which type of reaction is this? Displacement reaction. Remember? इधर दो ही नहीं क्या बेटा Fe और ऑक्सीजन दो ही इधर ये लेख है ये दो एक के साथ कंबाइन होने के बाद क्या होगा फिर इधर एक और इधर दो बनेंगे remember AB plus C gives remember this is A B and this is C so what happens ये अल्यूमिनियम किसके साथ रिएक्ट होगा ऑक्सीजन के साथ so it becomes aluminum oxide and iron is displaced. They may ask you whether this chemical just now I told you right in the previous slide they will ask you about reactivity series. Just now we have seen no man according to reactivity series. I have asked no question. Yeah, based on that question only. Even this is one more example. Whether this reaction can take place or not. If it is going to happen, how you are supposed to write. Compared to iron and aluminum, aluminum is reactive. So aluminum can displace. Aluminum can displace iron. Got it? You have in question number 2. We can just go through that. That is one of the most important question. And if you want to balance, you have question number 6, question number 7 and question number 8. Follow those questions. Question number 6, question number 7 and question number 8. They have already given how to balance the chemical reactions over there. So use those questions and try to balance them. And last but not least, your question number 11. Excuse me. Question number 11. Why a decomposition reaction called as opposite of combination reaction? You can expect that question. Go through that. And the next question number 14, question number 17, question number 18, question number 19. So these are the questions which you have to refer from your textbook exercise questions. These are the questions. See children, if in case if you are going to complete till here, then believe me, no one can stop you from scoring. The order what I have given, the methods what I have shown, the topics what I have explained to you people, follow those instructions and start preparing according to that. Make a brief crispy notes in one page. Make a crispy notes. Take one A4 sheet. Put a margin in the center. Put a line in the center. Divide into 2 parts. The same first page. In short form, write the heading what I have shown. About those all the points. Write it. Write down all the key points over there. Just refer those key points. That is more than sufficient to prepare for science. So even tomorrow if it is exam, just if you go through those points, so much knowledge you will gain out of it. Okay, this is how you are supposed to prepare for science. I hope you all have benefited out of this session. For the next in the next session, we'll be starting with the next new chapter. I hope this session is very helpful. If you like this video, do not forget to click the like button. And if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, Shah Sir Classes, do subscribe. Take care. All the best. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.